Well, good afternoon, friends. Good afternoon. Welcome. Welcome to another episode of Conversations with Dune and Friends. Today we have a wonderful friend joining us all the way from the other side of the world, all clear across many ponds, but we have Jessica Breitenfeld joining us today. She'll tell us a little bit more about exactly where she's at over there in the European country, but thank you for joining us, and please feel free to join us in the conversation. Feel free to comment and ask Jessica questions, and certainly interact with us. It's more fun that way if you happen to be able to join us live here. And if you're watching in the recorded version, please also feel free to comment and ask questions, and perhaps we can respond to those as well. So let me do a quick introduction here. Now, Jessica, can you still hear me in the green room there, my friend? Wonderful. So Jessica is a thought surgeon, an award-winning ToastMaster, a trainer in Gestalt Psychoanalysis Therapy, who has taught and lived in 8 countries for 9 years. She has trained at Caixa, Damm, Maersk, Braun and H&M, Barcelona. Now, enthusiastic and direct, she helps recalibrate the technical minds to flow with their ideas. She coordinated the 2018 AIN Regional Marketing Conference and was a member of AIN board in 2018. In her free time, she teaches dating communication skills and leads workshop in helping entrepreneur women accept their ugly side and live their purpose by removing thoughts that hurt. Her real passion is being a volunteer hospital clown and bringing lightness into people's lives, and obviously wanting to contribute to reduction of stress. So you can see her tag there is stress less with Jess. So with that brief introduction, friends, please help me in welcoming our guest today, all the way from, now I'm going to say probably Barcelona is where you're at today, but all the way from Barcelona, we have Jessica Breitenfeld joining us. How are you doing today, Jessica?
Very good. Thank you very much, Dune. So pleased to be here today.
Wonderful to have you here. So was I correct that you are in Barcelona today?
I am norther, if
Okay.
that's actually a
A
description.
little bit further north, yeah.
Where they eat schnitzel, where Birkenstocks with socks, and where there used to be a wall.
There you go. Cool. So tell us a bit more about your background before we continue with some more questions and showing some clips and things like that. What got you here, my friend? All the things that you kind of went through to get here into this 2020 COVID and all.
Wow. So it started about 20 years ago. I was about this tall, which you can't see, but I am a giant, Dune.
Are you?
I'm a 6 feet.
Wow.
79 for my European fans.
Yeah.
I was this tall when I was 12. So if you can imagine that I was the tallest always in Canada.
Yeah.
And of course I played basketball. And then I was playing basketball and I used to fall a lot because I think I grew too fast. I broke a little bone in my back, and that little bone caused a lot of pain. For such a huge, tall girl, a tiny little bone.
Yeah.
And just years and years and years and years of back pain. And I just ignored it. And the medical people in the West, called doctors, they said, you can't fix it. So I thought I have to, because I want to have babies and I want to have a family. And with this back pain, I can't. I couldn't have that. So when I was 26, I took a backpack and I went to Costa Rica, and then I went to India and Thailand and Cambodia and Brazil, and I lived in Egypt, and I tried to figure out how to fix my back pain. And through that, I became a therapist, an improv teacher, a hospital clown, and now a single girl living in Berlin.
Cool. So does Berlin still take your breath away?
Oh my God. Berlin didn't take anyone's breath away.
I'm referring to the song from the
Oh,
80s.
is that a song?
Well, Berlin, take your breath away.
I'm
No,
very young, Dune. I've never heard that song before.
you travel too much to listen to that kind of music. But so wonderful. So world traveler, and tell us a little bit about. We're going to go to the present time, and then we're going to kind of trace our way back and hear various stories of your world travel and all the things that you are up to there. But present day, what are you up to, my friend? COVID affects all of us worldwide. I assume it's no different in Berlin there. Tell us what are you up to?
Berlin gave me a lot of opportunities, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to go back to Canada and spend time just building my practice as a therapist, and just went online and met hundreds of amazing facilitators around the world with ToastMasters and the Applied Improv Network.
Yeah.
And then I went back to Barcelona for summer and enjoyed the beach and my boyfriend. And then I knew it was time to move. And because I teach online, I was able to move without losing my salary.
Ah, cool.
So I'm able to be in Berlin, in beautiful, breathtaking, cold Berlin instead of beautiful Barcelona. I'm still not sure I made a good decision. And I'm here, and I'm just trying to build something new here, something that I really love.
Yeah, well, it can't be any colder than Canada, hey?
Hey,
Berlin?
look at you. It can't be colder than Canada. It's true. So
Yeah.
I guess I'm doing well if I think like that.
There you go. So tell us, how long were you in Canada altogether? How much Canadian experience do you have?
How much bacon's in my blood, huh? Well, my mom was the bravest human ever. Not really. She left Germany, but she was 8 months pregnant. Can you imagine? 8 months pregnant. She flew with Lufthansa to Canada, and 6 weeks later, I was born. And I stayed in Canada till I graduated university, and then I got the hell out of that country because it's cold.
It's cold.
I moved to Egypt, one of the hottest places you can move to, and I lived for a year when I was 24.
Wow. So tell us, Egypt. What are things that you learned in Egypt that people may not imagine? You know, we have certain picture of other faraway places, and I have never been to Egypt. So, as somebody who's been to Egypt, enlighten us.
I shall enlighten you. Come into my pyramid. In Egypt, people go shopping at 12 o'clock at night. Like they gather the whole family and they go shoe shopping. Because until like 8 o'clock at night, it's too hot to even think about leaving your house. And you know the expression, eat like there's no tomorrow?
Yeah.
Which is like a religion for me.
Yeah.
In Egypt, we went to a couple weddings because all my friends were Egyptians, and we literally brought a fork to the buffet table to start eating in the line because we knew we had to make space on our plate because like little old ladies were like shoving me out of the way, and I'm like, I'm gonna box you out, woman. And we had to take 3 plates of food because if we would have waited until dessert time, there would have been no dessert.
Yeah.
They love food. They love to laugh. They're very, very funny, generous, hospitable.
Yeah. Hospitable.
Hospitable. Yeah, I had a lovely. I cried every day because of the poverty and the culture shock, and my white privilege staring me in the face all the time. But I learned a lot about what real life is about.
Well, what brought you to Egypt? Like, what would a Canadian, other than okay, it was warmer there. It's warmer there. What brought you to Egypt?
Now imagine a 24-year-old girl in Japan, and she sees this big, muscular Egyptian doctor. And he says to her, well, I've never even kissed a girl. I've never held hands with a girl. And I go, what? Men like this exist? And I was fascinated that there's a culture or a religion where the majority of people in society actually stick to what they believe and have their values. If I agree with them or not is not the point, but I fell in love with this man and his values and his humor and his beautiful body. And I moved to Egypt to be with my Egyptian prince. And it turned out really well.
For a while.
Like 2 weeks. And then
yeah. So Egypt, how long were you there? And, what are some things that are similar in Egypt versus Canada? Yeah, are there things that are similar? Can you name three things that are really the same?
Okay, I'm an improviser, so I'm going to try. Fatty food,
Hmm.
funny people,
Hmm.
and lots of shopping because we have nothing better to do.
There you go. So there you go. We're not all that different after all. Now, you mentioned funny people. You're one of those funny people. I've seen your videos. If people look her up online, look up Jessica Breitenfeld online, you will see, even on LinkedIn, the so-called professional network where people are expected to be somewhat buttoned down and somewhat serious. You're not serious even on LinkedIn. You bring a lot of light and laughter and levity to that as well.
You know what? My last name is Bright, and I've always been trying to think of like, how can I brand my name, right?
Hmm.
And so now I've decided I'm branding myself as the lightness and the light bringer. And I thought, who says you can't wear a bikini in a video on LinkedIn? Everybody. But I did it anyway because I think my message is don't take yourself so seriously. If people
Yeah.
don't want to work with me because I'm a little bit silly, then they're probably too German. And they're not going to like me in real life anyway. So it's good
Yeah.
that they run away fast early,
Yeah.
and then, you know.
You're pre-qualifying people. You're pre-qualifying your clients and pre-qualifying your friends and may I say, pre-qualifying your prince as well. If I refer back to that Egyptian
Like
encounter.
Tinder, LinkedIn, the lines are blurry now. I'm just using whatever I can as a 37-year-old woman.
Yeah, yeah. So how often do you make these videos? I see these videos on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and they're fun little sort of clips that are barely a minute or something like that, maybe a bit longer. But you, in your psychoanalysis kind of background and studies and education and that practice that you have, weave in really essentially a humorous look at life's sort of silliness or life's whatever, and you kind of raise awareness through humor.
Wow. Thank you for saying it like that, because that's exactly what I'm trying to do. And for you to be able to see it and articulate it so well means that I'm doing a good editing job.
There you go. And so tell us, when did you start with that journey, and how often do you do those videos? I'm curious. And are you committed to go a bit longer? Or are you at the tail end of that, or what's your plan?
My career is just starting, Dune. When I was a kid, I wanted to be Goofy and Steve Urkel. So a combination of those two was my dream job. Plus, I wanted to be a garbage man because I thought they don't have to wear seatbelts. They get to just have their hair flying. So I realized as an ENTP, as Myers-Briggs, I'm like, I just like to laugh and have fun. And these videos keep me up every night till 2 a.m. And I just have so much fun giggling myself. I don't know. It's like it's a hobby. I don't make any money with it. So.
Well, YouTube didn't make any money either until they got to a certain point. Facebook didn't make any money either until they got to a certain point,
Stress Plus. Jess didn't make any money until she got to a certain point.
Uh-huh. You think of Brendan Bouchard. Do you think he made a lot of money in his early days? Do you think Tony Robbins made a lot of money in his early days?
You never think of that. You're right. Thank you. Brene Brown's kind of my inspiration.
Oh, yeah, love her.
Vulnerability.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm vulnerability with humor. I know she's funny too. But
yeah.
Maybe when I'm 50. I hope she's not watching and she's not 50. When I'm 50, I would like to be like Brene Brown and inspire people to be kinder to themselves and give themselves a break for when they make mistakes.
Yeah. No, fun is, I always tell people, I do a lot of university teaching and corporate training and leadership development. And I always tell people, bring their whole self to work. And obviously there's a point where you have to temper it a little bit, but most people err on the other side. Most people don't bring enough of themselves into work. And they wonder why work isn't as enjoyable, as productive, as strategic, as, whatever. Because I would see them at home or in their community being a certain kind of very clear thinking, very autonomous, very, what's the word I'm going to say? Maybe proactive. And then maybe at the office, they just have this other self there, right? So if we can bring more of ourselves everywhere we go, I think we'll be better.
Yeah, just take the mask off a little bit more, right?
Yeah. But not during COVID. So tell us, okay, so you're in Canada for a number of years, kind of up to kind of adulthood and university and whatever have you. As you travel all these different countries, I would love to hear a little about each country that you've been to, and what are some key lessons that you learned from there, or key stories that you gathered or experienced that you like to share. Kind of enrich us with this international travel.
Wow, what a lovely question. Thank you for reminding me how old I am and how many places I've been to. I lived in Brazil, in a place where John of God was, which is quite interesting. It was a big scandal in the end, but this was a guy that healed millions of people, over the 70 years that he was working voluntarily. And I lived there, and I learned so much about compassion and forgiveness and how we heal ourselves. And whatever he was doing, whatever he wasn't doing, we learned to forgive what happened in the past. And then when you forgive, you cleanse that like energy out of your system. And I learned it when I was when I was 26. And I really feel grateful that really fixed my relationship with my parents, with my friends. And it was like life insurance because, if you go around the world with a lot of issues and triggers and angers and not forgiving people, it's a pretty rough day, because there's a lot of annoying people in the world. So I really feel grateful that I had that at one of the beginning parts of my life.
Yeah. So that's Brazil. That's one of the many countries. We got many more to go, my friend. Just keep on going.
That was the most influential one, probably. Egypt was, because I realized that my religion wasn't the right one, and theirs maybe isn't the right one, and the 100 other religions out there might not be the right one, and they might be. And it just opened my eyes to, these Mohammeds. I have like 10 friends that are called Mohammed, and they are absolutely amazing human beings. And my religion says, no, there's some problems there. And it just opened my world to what's out there. And then I went to Thailand and learned about Buddhism. And that made me think, wow, what about life after death? And then it made me think about, wow, what about India? And then I went to India, and in India I learned that butter chicken is really good. And I got my fortune read, and I got told my whole life's future ahead of me, and who I'll marry, and how many kids I'll have, and when I'll get separated, 38. So based on that, I have to get married and separated in the next year.
There you go.
I also learned to trust my instinct and not just follow gurus and chase healers around the world. I learned a lot about, I am me, and I'm pretty great, and I'm pretty bad, and I gotta fight my own battles and grow up.
You learn the humanity of our frailty and our uncertain future.
Wow, much better than I can say yes.
I'm just listening. Not going back.
You're a good listener, because the frailty of being. I have a theory. It's very LinkedIn.
Oh, is it? Okay. Let me feature you, because LinkedIn is an important thing. So here we go. In full screen, tell us something that relates to LinkedIn.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you are actually like an 80-20 human being. 80% of you is beautiful and curious and well-intentioned. But then there's that smelly, lazy, procrastinating, jealous of really cute girls side. And that side is your 20% dark side. And so you do have the 80, it's shining and beautiful, and you do have the 20. And you are a yin-y yang 80-20 human, and you have to accept that you have both. And once you accept that you have both, when you mess up and you yell at someone because they went on the bike path and you were speeding by in Germany, or when you accidentally didn't pay for the metro ticket and got a ticket, you remember that, okay, I'm not perfect and nobody's asking me to be, except for religion and media. Then you remember, oh, it's okay to be flawed, and it's okay to love someone who's flawed, and it's okay to go to therapy, and it's okay to cry. It's okay to be you. And Buddha says it's like 50-50. But
it's also okay to have challenge with what appears to be, was that a tube or what? A pink tube?
This is a fun, this is my most viewed video in the last month. It's pretty cute. You know, I didn't know that my boobs are getting in the way, and it's really material. You know?
Were you by the pool? Like, do you have a pool in your place or what?
No, I was at my friend's house, and I thought, if I managed to get the tube below my boobs, it would be pretty damn funny trying to get it off again. And I was super sweaty, and only when I wiped the sweat off did the water drip down my chest, and I was relieved of my extra tire.
That's funny.
That's a cute one.
Now, so let's go to another country. We've been to Egypt. We've been to Brazil, right? India, you said. Some other countries.
Yeah, those are the big ones. Well, I lived in France when I was 16.
Tell us about France. Is it as romantic as they say? Is it as the movies have depicted?
Oh la 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 la! It is. It is. The French are just so. They're so cool. Like,
yeah.
And we have the same thing in Quebec because we have the Quebec French, and they're still smoking like it's the 1980s, and no one told them it's bad for you. They all wear their scarves like they're still in 1920s France. And their cheese, and they just live their life a little bit more than the Protestant North American British people that live in Toronto, and we're so jealous of them. Have fun.
Yeah. So that was France. Any other country to touch on before we move on from that topic?
I lived in Costa Rica when I was 25, in Mexico a little bit in that time, and did some volunteering. Oh yeah, this was a big one. So I grew up in the church, and I was told, save the Africans, be a missionary, every thought you have is a sin. So of course, I grew up with a lot of guilt. And so I go on my first missionary trip to Costa Rica, and then I end up in Guatemala. And on my first day as a volunteer missionary, we walk up this hill. It's like super hot. There's mosquitoes. It takes an hour to walk up this hill with my new preacher, pastor, missionary boss. And we get to the top, and this tiny little poverty-stricken hut is a mother, a grandmother, and two little girls crying. And I enter into the room, and they start speaking in Spanish, and I understood a little bit. And my first job as a Christian volunteer was go to the dead guy in the bed and make sure he's dead. I'm like, I don't even know how to do that. What do you do? So I go, and everyone's looking at me. They're all crying, and I lift up the blanket, and I see a very dead man. And I can't check the pulse because I don't want to be the ones to tell them that their father, the breadwinner of the family, is dead. And so I don't. And to compensate for that, I bought the coffin because they couldn't afford a coffin. And that was day one of being a good Christian. And that had a huge impact on my worldview and my who do I owe things to? What is my responsibility in the world? And that started me on a whole big journey to free my guilt.
Yeah, cool. So I don't know which country this was, and it was a country that apparently didn't have what we have here in Canada. I don't know which country this might be, but you can tell me.
Oh, well, look at that. That was my vegan phase.
Vegan phase.
I ate my own shirt because.
Now, you mentioned before you have your forks nearby, but now you have lettuce nearby as well.
Yeah, That was during COVID times. I was just exploring with videos, and I thought it would be funny if I popped out of a rhubarb bush with my niece videoing. Actually, my videographer is my 8-year-old niece, and I'd be like, "Get your finger off of the camera! Stop shaking! No more laughing!"
Yeah. So this is in Berlin then, if I'm tracking.
No, I spent COVID and I spent quarantine in Canada. I got out of Barcelona the week quarantine hit, and I made it to Canada in time and quarantined there, and then was quite free because Canada has a lot of green, as you can see.
So Toronto area?
It's north of Toronto. It gets greener and greener and greener and colder and more boring, and that's where I was born.
See, you. Now this is the second time you said you were north of something. First time it was north of Barcelona. Now it's north of Toronto. You're always north of something, huh?
I don't know if I go more north. Oh my god.
So tell on a kind of work side, you do some pretty serious work. So tell us about your work, my friend. This little. I guess it's a bit of a poster, or tell us about the work that you do.
A couple of years ago, maybe 5 years ago, someone introduced me to the Applied Improvisation Network. And that's all about using improvisation skills, adaptability, intelligence, agility, resilience, whatever you want to call the ability to think quickly and confidently. And so I knew this is what I wanted to do. So I've spent 4 years training myself in this field. And training was a lot of fun because essentially it's how to be an improviser and how to be confident and think quick and be bold and go towards the action and make your team look good. And so now I'm a certified applied improvisation. We call ourselves practitioners, which is a funny word, and I guess I've been traveling a lot with ToastMasters. Last year, we went to a lot of ToastMasters conferences. Dune, we love our ToastMasters. And I gave tons of workshops on this adaptability intelligence. It's one of Daniel Goleman's 12 emotional intelligences. Yeah. So one of the most important, I think, is adaptability. And so I train, and a lot of my colleagues, we train people to listen, accept, and build. And so that's the skill of adaptability intelligence, is really being there, not denying it, not repressing the reality, and then, yes, ending towards the solution for collaboration.
You bet. And if we simplify it a little bit, that's what the awesome impromptu kind of performers do, right? That they listen, they really listen, and they just accept that that's what it was, that was said, and then they build on it, right? Which is a critical skill for life and collaboration. And I am so much bought into that I'm a real jammer myself, whether it comes to music, whether it comes to facilitation or teaching. When I do corporate training and when I do university teaching, and when I do leadership development or playing music or presenting, the whole jamming, really going with the flow. Yes, you have a plan. Yes, you prepare. But the moment you engage in that performance, you got to be in the moment. You got to be in the moment.
Now, do you think, Dune, with all of your background in training, when you're training, you got to be there with the people. When you're playing, you're there with the notes. When you're improvising, you're there with your team. Yeah. Do you find that these are all types of meditation, or are they just concentrations, or how do you see that? There's a debate about that.
Yeah, I see it as I'm just keep it simple, and I say I live in the moment. And a long time ago, I realized that's one of my really important strengths. I'm a living in the moment kind of guy. Literally, when I'm playing music, I don't think about other things. For example, I don't think about my work. I don't think about my family. I'm just in the music. When I'm doing training, corporate training, I am with those people. When I'm at home with my family, I don't think about other stuff. So I'm able to just go with the moment, live in the moment. And that's one of my strengths. And part of that allows me to really just be an improviser.
Well, you're very brave, because I've been on quite a few podcasts in the last couple of months, because in Corona time, everybody was doing this stuff. You do it live. And that is just a testament to improvising skills, because you can't edit out anything. And so I think you're really proving your professional presence in.
Yeah, thank you. And a lot of my guests would ask me, by the way, you are, I believe, are guest number 109, 109. So I've done 108 of these already, right? Every weekday since April 21st, right? So every weekday since April 21st. And some of our guests goes an hour and a half. Yesterday, was it yesterday or the day before? The day before, we had a guest that hang on for 2 hours and 55 minutes. We were just chatting, just keep on chatting. We won't do that today because I know you have an appointment. But what you notice when you ask me, or maybe some other guests ask me, hey, Dune, what questions do you have? Do you have any questions that I should be aware of? I say, no, I don't have any questions. We're just going to jam it out.
Jam it out.
Yeah. So this is very cool. I think you're onto something here. I think adaptability is a huge area, and it is applicable to personal life, community life, and corporate life, and government life, and whatnot. Adaptability, and COVID has just kind of heightened that even a bit more. And so whether it's adaptability, whether you call it by other words, it's a very important skill.
True that. COVID, my God, it's just shown me that I am very new. I moved to Berlin hoping that I would change. There's a Buddhist center 2 blocks away. I'm sure I'll go to 8 a.m. every day. Oh my gosh, the organic stuff in Berlin, I'm sure I'll eat all of that. Okay. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna bike everywhere. And turns out I am the same lazy, deli meat eating, sleep until 10 a.m. person I was in Barcelona. You have to really adapt. You have to change. You have to make like a real decision to change. If not, you're just stuck in your old ways. And even if they make you kind of unhappy and disappointed with yourself. So it's like, yes, I want this. And what do I have to do to it? That yes and that into reality, even though you don't want to go and wake up in the morning and go exercise or do anything, you really have to know the positive mental attitude that gets you to achieve what you want, right?
Yeah. And here's my other guest who's been on before, Mr. Tony Parriera, who says, hey, I was on for 2 hours and 10 minutes. So, you might have had a record for a little while, Tony, but at 2:55, Elizabeth George has beat you out.
He's like, bring it back in.
So, to tell us, in this work that you do, how does that relate to the training and education you receive in, psychoanalysis and all of that? How does that tie in?
So I'm tall, and I had no idea what I wanted to do in university. So I played basketball, and Canada does not reward sports playing, but I got a basketball scholarship to play.
Oh, wow.
All I did was play basketball and took the courses I want and just lived the life, right? And after 1 year, my parents said, so what do you want to do with all the money we're spending on you? And I thought, okay. I looked at everything I love doing, and turns out I was studying to become a linguist. So I became an applied linguist. So I'm an expert in English and teaching English. And that was just a blessing. I was able to live in 9 countries and make money like from day one, and I'm able to work online because of that. And it turned into teaching public speaking and teaching business English and doing adaptable intelligence. But thank God for my dad, because he, despite me not knowing what I wanted to do, I went into what I loved by loving it and finding out later that was the career that I wanted to be in. So,
very cool.
So follow your intuitions and your hobbies and your interests, because it can turn into your job. Okay, 15 years later, but here I am.
Money is a bossy thing. Money is a bossy thing, isn't it?
Ooh, nice expression. Money is a bossy thing. Money is sexy, isn't it?
So tell us about this ToastMasters. We have that in common. Back in 2007, I had never joined ToastMasters. And then all of a sudden, I was at a demonstration meeting, and Mr. ToastMaster, who actually launched 150 ToastMaster clubs or whatever, at that time, fewer then, but he was trying to demonstrate ToastMasters club to us, and we were bought in. And I was voted in as a president, so I did the kind of launching of that club. And so through Toastmasters, I really learned to appreciate the organization. Tell us about your experience with Toastmasters and stories around it. Do you have any stories, juicy stories around Toastmasters?
Juicy stories. I do have juicy stories. But they involve conferences where after 12 o'clock, people don't tell those stories anymore, do they? I joined Toastmasters when I was 16.
Have you been in contests, Toastmasters contest?
Yeah, I won last year, actually.
Tell us about what you won.
Oh, yeah. It was online, so that was a real challenge for all of us last year, March.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Before COVID hit North America anyway. Or was it after?
I don't even remember. COVID is a blur, right?
Right. It was online, yeah.
Yeah, it was online, and I won best in my club, and then I won best in the area, then won best in the area, and then I won best in Barcelona. Yeah, and talking about.
So you are Barcelona's best, as they say.
That's what they say. That's what I say. Yeah, the really good people that year didn't compete, so I really gotta thank you to all my Barcelona friends. They were too busy with their babies and building their businesses, and I got in, and it was a great year too.
There you go. What you focus on, you get. What you focus on, you get.
That's wise. What do I want now?
There's a video one of the videos that I'm going to share. I wonder which one you want me to share first. One of them is, well, you might know it right off the bat, but German low bulge and then unsuccessful swing. Which one would you like me to bring in?
The German one. Sure.
Okay, here we go. So this will take a bit of coordinating. Tell us about that before I bring it in here.
You know, I've made so many German videos, so you have to remind me what.
Okay, this is the roller coaster, I think.
Oh, this video, this is the funniest thing. If you listen to your intuition, because I saw this weird bench thing in Munich, and I thought, that looks like a weird roller coaster bench. And I just rolled on it and made a video of myself. And that stupid video, oh my gosh, and I got bruised for it. That got 2,000 views on LinkedIn. And nothing. It was just like, follow your intuition and be creative. And something like that, I guess, just really appeals to people because we all have these crazy ideas like, I bet I could ride my kid's tricycle blindfolded down a hill at 3 a.m, but I never do it. And so I'm glad that you chose this one because I think it really shows that you gotta have a little bit more fun on LinkedIn.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna bring it in here and let me know if you can hear the sound as well. Here we go.
Yes. And then I just run over and say, Walt Disney World, Germany. Walt Disney World, Germany.
So you are well, not only a visual storyteller, but a physical storyteller.
Yeah.
So have you ever got hurt or injured filming one of these episodes? Like seems like you have an episode coming out almost every day. And have you ever kind of hurt yourself?
Oh, my ego. Oh my gosh. I stood on a tire once and almost broke a rib, I think. And it was with my mom, so that was kind of funny because she wonders why I do this. I went in a dumpster to see what it's like, but that was fun. I got free olives out of that one. Tried to climb a tree, and then I broke the tree, and I got some girl being like, "Why are you ruining nature?"
Oh, I don't know if my friend Tony Poirier, I don't know if you've been in Toastmaster, so I don't know if that's the perspective you're speaking from the inside, my friend. He says, first rule of Toastmaster Club is we don't talk about Toastmasters Club. Are you aware? Are you aware of this rule? I wasn't aware of this rule.
No, the rule is after the contests are over and it's 11 o'clock and people start drinking, and then we're just like a bunch of 16-year-olds doing the Macarena, taking off our high-heel boots and trying to flirt with the one cute guy that shows up.
You mean in the speaking, Toastmaster? Are you saying there's more ladies than there are guys in the? Is that what you say?
All your male viewers, if you would like to meet a wonderful woman, they're at ToastMasters. It's like 90% wonderful women who have great stories and are
and who love to talk.
Okay, so that's the flip side.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No, it's true. I was gonna say we're outgoing and we're funny and we're annoying and obnoxious and we're competitive. Who wouldn't want to be with us?
Yeah. And some are dramatic as well.
I don't know them, but I've heard.
Yeah. That's fun. That's funny. So, no, I really want to know, Tony, Mr. Anthony, are you speaking from inside the perspective? Have you been a Toastmasters club, my friend? I think this, our friend here, David, says...
David! I love David.
Yeah.
Does that mean he's watching?
That means he's watching and he's commenting. He says, amazing.
David is amazing. We met 3 years ago at a conference and we were both just starting our careers. And we were both like, yeah, we hope, like, this is what we want to do. We want to train people in this. And then, poc a poc, as the Catalans say, little by little, he's a very successful voice training coach. He does trainings in Austria and throughout Europe. And I'm following close behind him and doing trainings as well. So high five. Yes, high five.
There you go. Yeah. So tell us more. I'm going to ask you a specific question about Toastmasters. If you have to talk to somebody who is not in Toastmasters and you're trying to convince them, you're trying to convince them to join Toastmaster, give us a 30-second elevator speech that would get them to join Toastmaster.
Have you seen how good looking David is? Only 30 seconds, lady. Come on. And it makes you brave. You have to go on stage and speak for 7 minutes, and then 30 people in the audience give you feedback, and you have to take it in and change your speech and improve for the next time. And we clap like crazy for you. And the presidents like Dune are there behind you, supporting you. And we go to conferences and we compete and we dance and we go to beautiful workshops where you meet amazing people who are not just happy with the status quo. They're really trying to make their lives better and their careers better. It's really beautiful people.
Yeah. Did you know that my first song that I've ever written was actually not only about Toastmasters, but have the Toastmasters in the title?
Wow. I remember being at a workshop and you were playing your guitar. And okay, so let's hear it.
So okay, now it's been years since I've written and played this. It was to 200 Toastmasters. That's their 25th anniversary of the what's called Golden Mountain Toastmasters Club. And so the lyrics goes like this. I have my guitar and I have my everything kind of one-man band set up, but I'm just going to do the lyrics, okay? It goes like this. We gather round several times a month. We gather round, rain or shine. Some have fears in their eyes and some have joy. But what really matters, we're all here by choice. There you go. That's my first one. Yeah, I was asked to be a keynote speaker at that event, and then I said, I just got back to playing music. Would you like me to write some songs and perform them as part of my keynote? And she said, yeah, sure. And so I wrote 3 songs, and the first of which is Toastmasters of District 42.
Me and one of my colleagues from Toastmasters, we just made some funny skits about Toastmasters. So I'm editing those, but really kind of making fun of all the silliness that happens and all the clapping and all the formality and all the stuff that people go, oh, this is not for me. You know, and it is for you. You just have to see past the annoying formalities and find the people behind the claps.
Yeah, well, you know, military boot camp is pretty different for some people, but if you need to improve in that area, it seems to be productive. It seems to be effective.
Best way to grow yourself.
Yeah, you bet. And in fact, in the chorus, I think the last sentence or kind of phrase in the chorus is we change the world when we change ourselves. So that's how the chorus ends, right? Yeah. So anyway, tell us more about. I'm going to go way back. Okay, go way back. Let me see how far to go back here. I'm going to go back to even before, while you were living in Canada. You were living in Canada for 18, 20 years or something like that, I heard before. While you were living in Canada, tell us 2 stories about your memory of Canada. One really awesome, excellent, fantastic. If you tell the story, people want to go there and live in Canada. And then another story that says, okay, be also cautious of this other side of Canada. Wow. You have 2 stories?
Oh my gosh, you're such a table topics evil master. Those are.
There you go.
Do I get 30 seconds to think about?
You bet. You go ahead. I can go. Da, 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 da. People in other countries probably wondering what I'm humming. They don't probably know.
What's wonderful about Canada?
Yeah, a story from your 18 and 20 years early life. Now you came back a number of times since then, but you know, kind of.
Yeah. Okay. It mixes Egypt with Canada.
Okay.
I was 24 and I was living in Egypt because of this Egyptian man I fell in love with. And I go to a party there, and it was a girls' party. I really don't have so much in common with the girls in Egypt because they have to be home by 7 o'clock. They cover up. They don't kiss. They don't even hold hands before they're married. This was 15 years ago. Maybe it turned into a Burning Man party over there in the last 15 years. And I'm at the sleepover, and we legit were like in our bikinis and our like prom dresses, like having pillow fights, like what every 14-year-old boy's fantasy would be, right? The girls say to me, they're talking about boys. So I come over and they say, Jessica, tell us your list for your dream man. I'm like, this party's getting started. Okay. So he has to be nice. He has to be funny. He has to be intelligent. He has to, and she just stares at me. And Mona says, Jessica. And I said, I'm asking for a lot. I have a list of 20 things. And I realized for them, for these Egyptian women that I knew, upper middle class, doctors, speak 3-4 languages, have traveled. They were just looking for a man with a job. And I realized what a blessing to have grown up in Canada. You know, I didn't even realize that I was the lesser sex. I didn't realize that I shouldn't have confidence. I didn't realize that the world treats women quite worse than they do in Canada. And all this fun I had as a kid and playing around and playing sports and being valedictorian and dancing when I wanted to dance. All of this was because I live in a really great socialist, open-minded, tolerant, beautiful, modern country that encourages people to accept other people. And that's hard to find.
Now you made me want to move to Canada.
Yes.
Actually, truth be known, I put my life on the line to be in Canada. I escaped Vietnam back in the 80s. One of those boat people in the. I was 13 years old and went on a journey. Little boat, 100 people in there. We escaped. My mom says, you might not live to see tomorrow morning, right, Dune? And I said, yeah, I know, but I have this vision of freedom and prosperity and a life that I have envisioned. Now, I've always been happy as a child, so happiness was not an issue. But that vision was so compelling, I was actually putting my life on the line. And so I came to 2 refugee camps, Indonesia, 2 refugee camps, shirt on my back, 2 brothers. and lived there for a number of months before got immigrated to Canada, again with a shirt on our back and $1,200 loan to pay back the government for the flight that we took. And that's how I came to Canada at 13 years old.
Oh my goodness.
Not a word of English. I didn't know English. English was actually my third language.
Wow.
Yeah. But hearing your story have really even want me to definitely put my life on the line for that.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that. I got goosebumps everywhere. You know, these dreams that people. Okay, now I can tell you the bad side of Canada.
Okay, yeah. You go ahead. We all have it. Yeah.
Well, the best thing we have is poutine, which just says a lot for gravy. I don't even know what gravy is. Anyway, I was speaking to a German woman who doesn't love Canada much. She lived in a suburb of Toronto for a couple of years, and I lived in the middle of nowhere in Canada. Mm-hmm. And she met a woman. There's Salvation Army. It's like a thrift shop, a charity shop. And mm-hmm. there was a Syrian woman and an Afghani woman mm-hmm. working at these shops. And they both said that they would prefer living in their war-torn countries with bombs dropping than live in Canada. And I thought, why in the world? How is that possible? And then I kind of realized there's a lot of coldness in Canada, not mm-hmm. figuratively.
Yeah.
And in the bones.
Yeah.
And we're very lonely. We have so much space. Yeah. And space is great when you have a mental, clean place to hang out up here. But if you're not so happy, you're stressed out, you're anxious, you're worried, which most people are, so much space, so much isolation, so much loneliness. Mm-hmm. You know, you drive to work, one person in your car, you sit at your office, you come home, you go to the gym with your headphones on, you come home, you go on Tinder all alone, you eat alone. We're very alone. And whenever I go back to Canada, I just fall back into this like track pant wearing, eating too much unhealthy food, coldness. And I don't know if it's the materialism, the consumerism from North America, but there's something that's very sad. We're missing some life, some joie de vivre, some European aliveness that we just missed out. I think because we had these 6 months of snow, it just sucks the life out of us, and we hibernate and we get sad. And I really wouldn't want to be there, to be honest.
Yeah. So maybe COVID shift our perspective a little bit and just remind us how important human connections truly is.
Yeah, if that's one thing good that came out of it, people realize that your car and your iPhone and your beautiful fancy gym is not your happiness. It's the connections with humans and the laughter and the hugs and the understanding that only humans can bring to you. That's what happiness is for me.
Yeah. So I think next time people are able to socialize closely and be able to hug and whatnot, that they're going to appreciate more than they did before. I think many of us have taken that for granted, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I have another video that I'm going to show, and this video having you, let me just show it. Let me just bring it in and show it, okay? And then you can tell us about it afterwards. How's that? Or you can tell us about it now while we're kind of in suspense, wondering what's going to happen here.
Okay, go for it. I saw this picture and I thought this would be hilarious if I tried to be that girl, because I weigh twice as much as she does. So I tried to recreate this by asking the smallest guy at the improv workshop to volunteer to lift me up. Take it away, Dune.
All right. Let me know if you can hear the sound.
Amor de mi vida, esto no es historia ficticia. Actualmente me está pasando, eres igual, soy uno. Dale mambo. Desde que te conocí, mi mente no va a dejar. Pensar en segundo en ti, eres todo para mí. Lo que diga la gente, mi vida solo pertenece a ti. Solamente amame un segundo, que no aguanto más. Mi corazón te desea con tanta ansiedad. Y solamente amame un segundo.
Fun stuff. Now, let me just get this back on here. So, how often do you do this improv thing, or is it rare? Is it regular, or what's your?
I think a lot of my life is improvised. I really do listen to that little voice, that instinct voice that's like, turn right on this, that's left, turn right on this street. And then I just see something that inspires me to make a video. And I think this is a life lesson here. And some of the videos turn out really funny and embarrassing, and my boob pops out and people make fun of me on YouTube.
See, that has never happened to me.
Well, you have them tucked in very well.
Yeah. So videos, I'm curious. If you had to count the number of videos that you have made that actually made the final cut, not to mention how many you might have, outtakes and whatnot. What kind of number is that? You do a lot of videos?
I post them all.
You post them all? Okay. Oh, really? I remember this one where you were climbing out of looks like a laundry box.
Yeah, think out of the box, right? Genius.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in the videos that you share, I notice for every video, there's a message that you're trying to convey. There's a lesson that you're trying to impart, but you do it in rather than a teaching in a sort of theoretical way. You act it out and you made it funny and you made it into a little bit of a skit and all self. I haven't seen where you have many other people involved. It's mostly by yourself and with a lot of props around, and so you make use of those. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to get people more involved, but if you live alone and you have your ideas, usually on a Friday night when you wish you were doing something else and something comes through your soul that you just want to express.
Yeah. You should look up these drones that you can, well, they're probably going to keep on improving it, but there are drones that will actually, you put it up and it knows what to do. And in the long run, I'm sure you could probably tell it the instructions ahead of time of patterns that you want it to circle and things. And then you can just have a, smart, intelligent drone doing the filming for you. Now, no pressure on your niece or nephew who might have been helping you out with their job on the line, perhaps.
Yeah. Child labor. Is that wrong?
Yeah. So tell us, my friend. Thank you for sharing your thoughts and the stories and the journeys and the different countries and experiences and whatnot. I know you have another appointment that you need to be at, so we need to wind it down pretty soon here. My time is flexible today, so let me know if you want to keep on going for a little bit. We certainly can. But I want to turn it over to you. When I reach out and say, "Hey, Jessica, you want to talk for an hour and a bit?" and you said yes. Were there areas that you want to discuss that we haven't gotten to yet? Anything at all?
No, you made it really fun, and you brought the videos in, and I really appreciate that because that's what I really love, and I'm glad that you see that. And we haven't, we're not super close, and just the fact that you kind of see what I'm doing, and it brought me a lot of joy. And I got a hot date, so I'm gonna. Oh
wow, that's more important than conversations with Dune and Friends in Canada, where even the summer is probably colder here than it is over there. Well, I won't keep you from your hot date, and maybe take a video of the date and share it with the viewers.
Oh, you give me a whole new idea. I should just do like videos, and you'd have to find guys who are willing to go online with the whole side business.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do, again, respecting your time and the hot date that you have to be on here, or that you want to be on here, I presume. Let me ask you to wrap it up. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask you to wrap it up in any which way you want. You can sing us a song. You can do a skit. You can do a monologue. You can do anything at all. And I'll just be a willing passenger until we're done. And when we're done, if you can just hang in the green room for just a minute, I'll give you a high five there. But before we get into that, let me just thank our viewers here. Folks, thank you for joining us live here and for your comments, some of you. Certainly, we got David, we got Anthony, and we got others who commented here. And certainly feel free to comment in the recorded version as well, and enjoy that, and maybe share the video if you like it. But again, thank you to Jessica Breitenfeld for joining us for the hour and a bit here. And with that, here is Jessica to take us out. Stress less with Jess.
Stress less with Jess. Be yourself. I think we just are so scared to show who we are because it's nerdy, it smells sometimes, it's lazy, it's a little bit chubby. And I just think, how many years of our life do we waste not doing what we want because we're not perfect? And I got German blood, so I am trying to be perfect. And this clowning has just allowed me to laugh at myself and laugh at you. Because we're just humans and we're 80-20, 80% awesome, 20% terrible. And if I'm myself, you can be yourself. We can all hang out and have fun together and make the world a less critical, less demanding, less self-beating place. I wanted to say less flagellant, and I want flatulent, and I said flatulent the other day. So you can take yourself less seriously, folks. Be you and have a little bit more fun, right? Back to you. Thank you.